Good evening. The City Council LRA Board for the City of Riverbank is now in session. Today is Tuesday, the 8th of October, 2024. It is 6 p.m. Please rise.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. First of all, if we could just take a few moments just to think about the ones that are making it through the hurricanes, and just think about them and love on them for a moment. So Father, Lord, we just come before you this evening, and we're so grateful and thankful for this opportunity at this city council. Lord, I pray, Father, that throughout this night as we do these presentations, Lord, which each one represents individuals and agencies making Riverbank a better place to live, Father, as we honor our Vice Mayor and think about the unity that, Lord, is across the table here that makes Riverbank such a great place to live. Lord, we want to recognize you in the room, and that, Lord, that we need wisdom when it comes to the business tonight. And Lord, we just trust that you're going to lead and guide, and that each one of us will be doing our part tonight to make Riverbank the city that it is. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Here.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Here.
Mayor O'Brien?
Here. There will be some agenda changes in the presentations. I'm going to take a walk and roll to school first, followed by lights on. The third one will be the fire prevention. Fourth would be code enforcement. And then the recognition of Vice Mayor of District 3, Leanne Jones-Cruz, if she is here. Any council or authority member or staff who has a direct conflict of interest on the scheduled agenda items to be considered is to declare their conflict at this time. Seeing none, we're going to go directly into the proclamations. If I may have the walk and roll to school participants come on up. Hi. And I'm sure there's a couple of others. So, after I'm done, you guys get to take over, or the kids can take over. They're gonna be taken over soon enough as it is. City of Riverbank Proclamation, Walk and Roll to School Day, October 9th, 2024. Whereas the City of Riverbank deems the health and safety of its students as a primary concern, and whereas the lives of hundreds of children could be saved each year if communities took steps to make pedestrian safety a priority. Whereas a lack of physical activity plays a leading role in the rising rates of obesity, diabetes, and other health problems among children, and being able to walk or bicycle to school offers an opportunity to build activity into daily routines. Whereas driving students to school by private vehicles contributes to traffic congestion and air pollution. And whereas an important role for the parents and the community is to teach children about pedestrian safety and become aware of the difficulties and dangers that children face on their trip to school each day, and the health and the environmental risk related to physical inactivity and air pollution. Whereas children, parents, and community leaders around the world are joining together to walk and roll to school and elevate walking and bicycle conditions in their communities. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Riverbank hereby proclaims Wednesday, October 9th, 2024 as Walk and Roll to School Day throughout the City of Riverbank and as such encourages everyone to promote the safety and health of children today and every day. Signed today by me. So I'm gonna, first off, we're gonna take a picture together. And if I can have the council come on down. The council's gonna stand. I'm not directing. In front of- Okay, I want the kids, I need a couple of kids. Kill, what's your name? You want it? You're Leo? Leo, will you guys hold this? Okay, right? You wanna hold something? You want to hold it. Okay, we're all up there? Okay, Helen over here.
Hello, my name is Sebastian Constantino, and I am one of the students from California Elementary School. I would like to share why after school program is helpful for other students because it gives students more time to do homework instead of home, and we do activities. Something that I like in the after school program is clubs, which is the new thing we started this year. It helps us like it's sports, diamond art. It's a lot of cool activities, and we do them every Wednesday and Thursdays.
Well, thank you. So, was it?
Good evening, everyone. Armando Nunez, Program Grant Manager. Just want to thank our City Council for the ongoing support of Riverbank Unified and again, our community at large for supporting student safety and health. And specifically Castleberg Park, which I know is near and dear to our community. It's heavily used by a lot of the residents in that area. And so we keep going back to Castleberg Park for the meeting location to walk towards California Avenue. So during that walking to school, we actually are having conversations with the residents around a walkability assessment. So the needs for any type of infrastructure, crosswalks, lighting, sidewalk improvements, things that like that. And so it builds trust with our local law enforcement officers as well that join us and walk with us and getting the kids to school safely. So there's a lot of collaboration. I know a lot of the council members join us, other outside community partners join us as well. This year, Safe Kids Stanislaus will be hosting a assembly at the California Avenue School once the school day begins. It will be an assembly around safety, talking about pedestrian safety, bicycling safety, and Halloween safety because it is the month of October. So as our kids are getting ready to dress up for the festivities, we want them to make sure that they are being safe when they're walking in their neighborhood. So again, a lot of good things, positive things that happen out of this event. And again, on behalf of Riverbank Unified, we thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you.
I don't think you should go too far. Now for the lights on. Lights on after school. Come on up, everyone associated with it.
We're back.
And we're back. So I think you spoke about, but you can speak again. I enjoyed the talk. Okay. All right. Again, the City of Riverbank Proclamation Lights On After School. Whereas Lights On After School is a national celebration of after-school programs and promotes the importance of quality after-school programs in the lives of children, families, and communities. And whereas after-school programs provide safe, challenging, engaging, and enriching learning experiences to help children and youth develop their social, emotional, physical, cultural, and academic skills. And whereas after-school programs support working families by ensuring children are safe and productive after the regular school days end. And whereas such programs help build stronger communities by involving students, parents, schools, business leaders, and adult volunteers in the lives of the young people, thereby promoting positive relationship among youth, families, and adults. And whereas Riverbank Unified School District Project Action After School Care Together in our neighborhoods is recognized in our schools and community as the fundamental after-school program dedicated to providing extracurricular, academic, and recreational opportunities for student enrichment in the safe and nurturing environment so students may become diverse individuals. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Riverbank that Friday, October 18th, 2024 is Lights On After School within the City of Riverbank, signed today by me. And who is going to accept this? You? Yes. You? Why don't you, Saul, you didn't get the whole proclamation. Why don't you, Saul, do it? And everybody gather around it? Anybody else want to come? We're getting help. Okay. Get your order. Belong in the downtown.
Hi, my name is Alondra Magaña. I attend Riverbank Language Academy and I am in 7th grade. Riverbank after school programs have been celebrating Lights On for the past 20 years. The reason why we celebrate Lights On is schools are providing a safe place for kids until 6 o'clock. Before, many kids went home by themselves and waited for their parents to get home from work. We call these kids latchkey kids. So now we have after school programs providing a safe place full of lots of activities for kids like me. Hello, my name is Ariana Hernandez. I am part of the After School Program Leadership Group. I attend Riverbank Language Academy. Some things I like about after school is building Legos, being with my friends, and lastly doing my homework while socializing with others in the program. Thank you. You guys are invited to the Lights On celebration.
Hello again, Armando Nunez, Program Grant Manager, and I am really honored to lead the after-school program known as Expanded Learning. And I'm furthermore just grateful to work with such great leadership at our school district. We have Dr. Rodarte here present with me tonight, our Assistant Superintendent for Riverbank Unified, as well as a couple of our advisors from California Avenue. We have Ms. Beverly and Miss Monica for Riverbank Language Academy. It really takes all of us to do this work. And so I'm just glad to be able to represent that and creating not just a safe space for students, but providing them with enrichment opportunities where they're able to have fun and continue learning. And so after school program, Lights On celebration really is an opportunity for us to showcase to the community the work that we're doing. And again, having fun. And so we hope you can join us on Friday, October 18th. Thank you.
You can have this one. Thank you very much. All right, the next one is for the Fire Prevention Month. If you gentlemen and ma'am, would you like to, oh, both too? Come on up, all five of you. An emergency, who are you gonna call? The City of Riverbank Proclamation, Fire Prevention Month, October 2024. Whereas the City of Riverbank is committed to ensuring the safety of all those living in and visiting Riverbank. And whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are where people are at greatest risk from fire. And whereas Riverbank's first responders are dedicated to the reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention education. Whereas, according to the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, roughly 3 out of 5 fire-related fatalities happen in homes with no or non-working smoke alarms. Whereas the 2024 NFPA theme is smoke alarms, make them work for you, the City of Riverbank works to educate its citizens about actions they can take to keep themselves and those around them safe. Whereas smoke alarms should be installed in each bedroom, hallway, on each level of the homes, test alarms regularly and replaced every 10 years. It is further proclaimed in order that the City of Riverbank Council takes great pleasure in congratulating and commending Riverbank's first responders for their service to the Riverbank community. Now, therefore, I, Richard O'Brien, Mayor of the City of Riverbank, do hereby recognize October as Fire Prevention Month for the City of Riverbank, signed today. Thank you. Now, I know you guys are going to address, one of the concerns I think we all have is the fire hazards right outside the city limits. All the trees that are down, I know you guys have recognized that, but we all are concerned, but we're in safe hands because of you. So who's going to accept the award? Okay, you accept the award, and then you're going to be the spokesperson. You want to speak first, and then take pictures, or take pictures. Okay, good.
All right. Thank you so much for having us tonight. This month is Fire Prevention Month. This week, Fire Prevention Week, and we've also got Red Ribbon Week coming up. So we've got a majority of the schools in the district that are scheduled to have one of our crews come out and visit them. We are prioritizing the smoke detectors and smoke alarms. We also go over 911, stop, drop, and roll, fire exit plans at home and at school. So we try to cover all of those basics. That way all of the kids in the community have an idea of how to keep themselves safe from fires. Thank you very much.
I'm gonna say, hey. Thank you. Go from large print to small print. All right, National Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week. So am I gonna see Cody up? Who am I gonna see up? All right. You guys have a thankless job. But I thank you. All right, National Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week. Whereas the state of California has proclaimed the second week of October as Code of Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week. And whereas code enforcement officers provide the safety, health, and welfare of the Riverbank citizens through the enforcement of local, state, and federal laws and ordinances, dealing with various issues of building, zoning, housing, animal control, environmental, health, and life safety. Whereas code enforcement officers have challenging and demanding roles and often do not receive recognition for the job they do in improving the quality of life for residents and businesses of local communities. And whereas the role of many code enforcement officers has expanded in recent years with jurisdiction increasingly relying on the expertise and training of code enforcement officers in their communities. Whereas code enforcement officers are dedicated, highly qualified, highly trained professionals who share the goals of preventing neighborhoods deterioration, enhancing communities, enhancing safety, and preserving property values through knowledge, training, and application of housing, zoning, and nuisance law. Whereas code enforcement officers often have a highly visible role in Riverbank and regularly interact with the public and a variety of federal, state, county, and local officials in their capacity as code enforcement officers. And whereas the city of Riverbank wants to recognize and honor the code enforcement officers that serve our community and acknowledge their role in leading the way to improve quality of life within our community. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Riverbank hereby proclaims the second week of October of 2024 and annually thereafter to be known as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week in the City of Riverbank. Be it further resolved that the City Council calls upon the Riverbank residents to join in recognizing and expressing their appreciation for the dedication and service by the neighborhood improvement officers who serve as our code enforcement officers, signed today by me. And I want to thank you both. Will the articulate one? Okay.
On behalf of Pat and myself, I thank you, Mayor, Council, for this honor. Both Pat and I work hard to keep the city of Riverbank safe, clean, and livable. And it's an honor to have that effort recognized. Thank you.
We're going to get a picture. Okay, let's go. Come on, Council. I shouldn't have had anybody get out. Behind, we're going behind. You guys really don't get it. That's one way to get rid of it. No.
You gotta share it. You gotta share it with all of the parents. They're all over there.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's do the consent calendar and public comment. Okay. All right, at this time, we'll have public comment. Public comment may be on any item not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council LRA Board. Individual comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and time cannot be yielded to another person. Under state law, matters presented during public comment period cannot be discussed. Before we go on, I failed to recognize that we have a technical difficulty with the video portion on Channel 2 on the Spectrum, and we apologize for that inconvenience. So do we have any public comments?
Olivia?
Good evening, Mayor, council members, everyone else here. My name is Olivia Rambula. I am broker and owner of Timeless Real Estate here in Riverbank, and I'm also your newly appointed Director of Community Events for your Chamber of Commerce. And I have some events for you. The few things I have here coming up, and I'm sorry I don't have flyers for everything tonight. We do have our all chamber mixer, which is going to take place on October 10th. It's going to be located in Turlock. Everyone's invited, so all chambers there. We also have the Riverbank Wine and Cheese Festival. Your Chamber of Commerce will be there. We'll be selling wine glasses and other items like that. So come and see us. We'll also have directions if you need help with going to any of the booths or finding them. And then we have on October 19th, we have the 20th anniversary ribbon cutting celebration at Antigua Event Center here in Riverbank on the corner of 2nd and Santa Fe. There'll be dinner, music, mariachis, professional singers that are highly renowned from Mexico, or some of them are from Mexico, but they do also speak Spanish songs. And there will be dinner, dancing. Tickets are only $60. If you're a member of Chamber of Commerce, any Chamber of Commerce, you are getting discounts at $30. So come on out. Just reach out to a chamber member or call the Antigua Event Center and they'll take care of you there. And then we have a multi-chamber mixer that's going to be located in Oakdale on November 7th. So save the date. And then November 13th, we are going to have a lunch and learn here brought to you by your Riverbank Chamber of Commerce and your Stanislaus Equity Partners. It's going to be developing business plans. So if you are a new business or you're a business already established, but you want to make your business plan for 2025, come on out. We just secured our spot. It will be hosted by your Riverbank Chamber of Commerce, the Stanislaus Equity Partners, and we do have our Pizza Plus is going to provide our food, beverage, and our place of meeting. So that's going to be from 12 to 1 on November 13th. And I think at that point, that's pretty much what we have for the Chamber of Commerce events. If you guys have any questions on anything, that would be great. Just a side note, the Stanislaus Equity Partners, they have a 6-week cohort for businesses every year, whether you're trying to establish one, you're trying to grow in yours. And so it's 6 weeks. They're going to do 2 next year and they're deciding where to place it. We wanted in Riverbank. They did just have one, but your Chamber of Commerce is going to partner and we really want to get them back here. So there's a QR code that I have. Unfortunately, I have one sheet, but I can give it to you guys all to scan tonight. Just let them know you want it to have it here. We try not to have it on Mondays, Fridays, and Tuesdays because of council and because those days don't get as much participation. So come see me if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Olivia?
Hi, everyone. Olivia Rambula, Chamber of Commerce, and owner and broker of Timeless Real Estate and resident here. I live in the Crossroads neighborhood. I live on Rose Hill, but my concern is I have a few things. Our speed limit on Oakdale Road is 50 miles an hour. We never used to have speed limits that were that high. We have a lot of new people who are shopping our area, especially to come to the new Costco and all the new stores. And 50 miles is like 65 to them possibly. I'm not saying I can't blame everybody new who's coming, but we are having a lot of more traffic. So I'm hoping that we can get that speed limit brought down to 35. And an area of concern that I have is where Oakdale meets Clarabelle Kiernan area. Sorry, I always say the same thing, but Clarabelle right there. When you are coming from, when you're heading west towards the freeway and you're making that turn to go onto Oakdale Road and you have the Panda Express right there, Costco across the street, there is a turn lane and it doesn't have anything, it doesn't have a red light. It doesn't say slow down to traffic that are coming, that have the green light, that are turning from the Kieran Clarabelle, right there. They, when you're turning, there's nothing stopping people. So when you're coming, there's just a little stretch of white line that you're not supposed to come over. Well, people are coming over into it just to zoom across to turn into Costco right there, at the new light that turns into Costco. So, sorry, I have video, so I'm saying everything, probably not in the accurate exact spots. But my concern is having a slow down light, a red light, or something right there, and then reducing the speed to 35 miles an hour right there. We have a lot more people coming. That might also help with some of the traffic that has come up in the past about turning into Heartland, because people are going so fast turning that they don't stop to slow down for residents to turn into that part of Crossroads. So that's what I have. Any
Thank you.
questions?
Mayor Sella, is it appropriate to have Cody comment on that?
With regards to the speed limit?
Yeah,
Um,
because
at-
we're doing something about it.
with regards to Oakdale Road? At this point
Yes,
in
if
time?
we are. What we're doing is that we're evaluating what speed is. The speed is determined by the people, how fast they go. Right now, our Public Works is conducting a survey on how fast it is. By conducting that survey, it may be an increase in the speed limit because we have to go by what the law says. And you're doing a conduct, Heartland is the biggest problem of it going 50 miles an hour, then all of a sudden making that turn. So they are doing a survey and they're trying to determine the speed limits around there, what would be appropriate. But it's law that dictates how we post the speed limit law, what the speed limit is. So it's difficult to say we want it down to 35 when the speed limit is 50, because that's how it was determined in the past. So he'll be still conducting that. And I believe your traffic safety committee has been looking at exactly what you said. Other people have also made that comment. Not that we can give you a resolution tonight. Did I say it right, Cody? Okay. Any other public comment?
That is all, Mayor.
Good. All right. Leanne should be here any moment. So before we go to a public hearing, we're going to do the consent calendar and take a short break until she gets here. Okay, we're going to proceed to the consent calendar. Consists of 9-1 waive readings, 9-2 approval of the City Council and Local Redevelopment 30 board minutes for September 24th, 2024. Item 9-3, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Riverbank declaring certain property surplus as listed in Exhibit A and authorizing its disposal. Item 9-4, resolution approving a voluntary contribution agreement for participation in Eastern San Joaquin Basin Nitrate Control Program Management Zone with a Valley Water Collaborative for a not to exceed amount of $10,000 annually. Is there anyone wishing to pull or discuss any consent items?
I would like to pull item 9.4 for a little bit of discussion to make it more clear to the public.
Okay. Any others? Do I have a consideration of 9-1 through a 9-3?
So I'll make a motion to approve items 9.1 through 9.3.
I second.
A motion to approve 9-1, 2, and 3. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Item 9-4.
What my concern is that I don't think, I think we need more of an explanation of why we have to do this additional testing and just the whole concept of the Eastern San Joaquin Basin nitrate control. People don't know exactly what it is and why we have to do it. And so I just want to get clarification for the public. Thank you.
Cody?
Mayor, members of City Council. So the nitrate control program is actually a two-part program that the state implemented back in, I believe it was 2018. We are a priority 2 basin, which means we had to start going into effect and doing these regulations in 2022. So in 2022, we entered the CV salts program, and the state is essentially trying to clean up the groundwater. So they are looking at the aquifers and the basins that the wastewater treatment plants discharge into, which City of Riverbank discharges into the Eastern San Joaquin Basin, which is just north of the river there. And so we are a priority 2 basin. So in 2022, we entered into the CV salts program under the salinity portion. And now 2 years later, they are kicking in the nitrate portion. So essentially what it is you have, and I apologize, I can't remember if A or B, which order they go in, but let's just, for example, say pathway A is you choose to treat your water at your wastewater treatment plant to the level that the state requires in order to discharge. Or you can choose pathway B, which means you join this group or coalition and you perform studies and additional sampling on your water so that the state can take that data and have a further knowledge of what degradation is going on into the aquifer. Being that the city does not have the ability to treat to that pathway A portion right now with our existing treatment plant, we are required to go into the pathway B, which means joining the coalition. So in order to maintain compliance with the state, we have to choose one path. And with the state of our facility right now, in the condition that it's in and the quality of treatment we are able to do, we cannot choose the treatment portion. We must go with the coalition.
And it's my understanding these are mandated testing that we have to do by the state of California.
Yes, this
And
will be
does that
additional.
require us to hire additional staff, or will our staff, be doing the testing?
No, ma'am. Our contractor that does our testing currently will be taking care of that.
$10,000 is a lot of money that we have to pay out. But I just want people to know the reason why we have to do this, because it's mandated
Yes, ma'am.
by California. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions before he leaves? Okay. I bring it back for consideration of 9.4.
So I make a motion, we approve item 9.4.
And I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve in a second, item 9.4. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez,
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien,
Yes.
motion passes 4-0.
Item 7.5, recognition. Vice Mayor, District 3, Leanne Jones Cruz.
You should have stayed standing.
That's what happened.
So, do you have any statements about her or?
We have a couple of council members who have a few words they will want to say.
And troll you. How are you? Oh, that's okay.
You guys want to, Mayor, you want me to just jump in or you want to go ahead and start?
You can start.
Yeah, okay,
Because I have some good comments.
yeah. So. Hi, Leanne. How are you doing?
I'm all right now.
Okay. So I know this was going to be an emotional, one of those nights, right? And so I had to prepare my message. So Vice Mayor, Leanne Jones Cruz, is one of the most remarkable examples of dedication to Riverbank, with her leadership, organizing things like the Sip and Stroll event here in our downtown. She understands that these businesses are the heart of our community. Our small businesses make Riverbank unique. And Leanne, you've always had a real connection to those small businesses. That event brought people together. Now more than ever, we need moments like that. And so in your speeches, I've said this to you privately, you can hear the deep love that you have for Riverbank. She speaks with conviction that resonates with all of us. Her words inspire us to take pride in our city and support one another. So thank you, Leanne, for the energy and the passion that you've brought to the meetings. Retirement is a beautiful thing. We share a love for travel, so I'm excited to see all of the posting that you're going to be doing on all of your platforms. I can't wait for all of that. So congratulations on that next step in life. So you're welcome.
Vice Mayor, or can I still call you that?
Former
Vice Mayor. Just coming into the city council last 4 years and then doing the community work and nonprofits, that the differences between, the collaboration that happens in both sides, it needs people like you to advocate, and the passion that you brought, and that I've learned from and taken away from too these last year-ish or 2 years serving next to you. I feel we've built a friendship through that, and I know we're going to keep in touch past that. So thank you.
Hi, Leanne. I have a little bit of a different perspective to talk about. Remember the time that we were in the car together and we were on our way to Long Beach?
A road trip?
Yeah, our road trip, and we went down some dark streets, thought we were lost, but anyway. Leanne, I'm gonna miss you dearly. I want everybody to plug up my cord up here anymore for a while anyway. But I wish you the best, and I know that I'll be seeing a lot of those videos, and I hope to see the dogs in there too, about your travels. And I know you're gonna love it back east, but I don't know how you're gonna deal with that snow, because that's why I'm here in Riverbank, okay, in
Shopping
California.
for snow boots.
But I wish you the best, and I'm gonna miss you. So let's keep in touch, okay? Thank you.
Can you explain the scooters?
The what? Oh, no.
Oh.
No, no, no.
There are some videos of those.
Oh, yeah, with her hair flying on the scooter, yeah.
And we have been sharing a lot of wins and losses here at the city council. Our first true test wasn't the marijuana. What was it before that? But anyway, the cannabis. That was a very difficult time where some of you may realize the number of discussions we've had, that the long council meetings and the long line of people saying that this action is going to tear the city apart. But our research, your dedication showed that, this is doable, and not only that, profitable. So we took a lot of extra time on that. We took a lot of extra time in bringing businesses downtown. I know you and I have differences on their responsibilities and their roles and the city's roles and responsibilities, but it works. And you're not going to keep me in line, so I get to do what I want now.
I can just do it from out here.
Yeah, you can, and you can do it, and Zoom meetings. So I know it was a difficult decision that you made, very difficult. And I heard it in your voice when you had that phone call, even before you announced it. So my deepest respect and love for you. So, Carrie, you want to say anything?
Well, we're sure gonna miss you, and there's a couple of times, I've been to a lot of these meetings, sometimes involuntarily, but there was a couple of times when I really had to just shake my head and say yes, and one of them just quickly was during the cannabis talks and so forth, where you were so kind to the people that were speaking, and then they went to interrupt you when it was time for you to speak. And I remember you just rearing up and saying, no, you're going to let me speak now. And I thought, a lot of respect. You did your research. So not only going to miss you as a city council member, but as a close friend. But we do wish you the best. That's an awesome thing that you're able to do. I don't know that I have the guts to be able to do that at any point, but Nance and I, but we're so happy for you. So congratulations.
So now your turn.
Council and friends that are here. First, thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve the city. and you know I won't be able to get through this app without tears. It's just me. But I'll give it my best here. I was born here. For some of you that don't know, fourth generation on both sides of my family, my mom and my dad. I didn't always live here. I didn't go to high school here. My dad took a job in Southern California, and I always laugh that, in fact, I was telling the Costco folks when we were breaking ground that although I grew up in Point Loma, and if you know the geography in Point Loma, it's this incredible beach town, and that's where the college was that we moved on to from here. I spent every summer of my life on the beach at Riverbank, down at my grandma's house on the river. And so Riverbank has always been my home, and I never expected to not be here. I always expected to retire here. And being on the council was something, again, I had family members that were past mayors and fire chiefs, and my family is well entrenched in this community. And when I came home and all of a sudden became this adult and started working here, and I realized all my cousins and everyone, I'm like, oh, now we are our parents. We're the business owners. We're the ones that live in this community. And being on council was not something that I was like, really even knew much about before. In fact, I was kind of making a joke when things weren't always too good, and there were things in the newspaper. I'm like, oh, I had to run for council. At least I wouldn't be on the front page of the newspaper. Well, what's the old adage that you always want to be on TV or in the newspaper until you're in politics? I think it is how it goes. That you don't want to be on television or the newspaper. But with that said, my friends were like, yeah, you'd be great at that. And I was like, I know nothing. I seriously started coming to city council meetings. I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I better go see what it's like. And I remember I ran one campaign, didn't win. And I was like, one thing you don't know about me, or you do, is that you can't tell me no. When you tell me no, I just want to do it harder. My parents would attest to that. So I ran again, and I was appointed and then ran another campaign. So I run 4 campaigns, and I have to say campaigning and elections are probably one of the hardest things in the whole wide world to do. It's really hard to get out there and do that kind of thing. But I remember learning about alligator cracks in the road and feeling so psyched that I knew what they were talking about. And I just feel so much smarter and wiser for being and serving on the council. I think one thing that just helped me was being a voracious reader and being able to read all the stuff, and feeling like, yeah, average Joe, me, who knew nothing about city, municipalities, or anything, was able to learn stuff. And I feel just like a better person because of it. And I feel very honored to have served the council in that capacity. So without, having the mayor get the hook and cut her off, I just want to say just thanks to everybody that supported me through all this and helped me be a better person. And I hope that I've brought something to the council when I was up there. And I don't claim to know everything or be top of my game all the time, but I try my hardest and just know that my heart was in it for all the right reasons. I encourage other people to do the same thing. Get involved. You learn all kinds of things that you didn't know. What you thought one way isn't really how it is. There's so many other layers to it. And it just takes a little time and effort, and pretty darn rewarding. So I just really thank each and every one of you. You've impacted my lives, and I can say I'm a better person for doing this. So thank you.
So Leanne, on behalf of myself and city staff, we want to thank you for always supporting us, for your passion for our community that we share, and for always advocating for what you believe in. Even if you were the only man standing, you were always willing to say what your mind and your heart felt. And so we always appreciate that here up at the dais. We will certainly miss you, and we wish you the best in all of your future endeavors and all of your travels.
In great appreciation to Vice Mayor Leanne Jones Cruz for her superb leadership in navigating through seemingly impossible difficulties, providing inspirational guidance, and finding common ground in developing transformative projects that will be realized in future generations. Always concerned and proactive, she has left a positive impact on the staff and the community. It is a great honor having her lead and guide the city of Riverbank. December 13th, 2022, September 30th, 2024. But we missed 8 years before that, didn't we? Yeah, so it's actually longer than those 2 years. So a total of 10 years. So this is something you can hang on your I Love Me wall. And we also have a picture, that's your picture. And I'm getting, he doesn't get to keep the picture? Yes. And you're leaving right away, so the flowers, I don't know. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna stand behind the table, you in the middle. Public hearings, item 10-1, resolution to consider approval of the request for an exception to allow for flag lot configuration and vesting tentative parcel map 01-2024 located at 2842 Turpin Avenue, APN 132-062-003.
Mayor and council members, Michael Arroyo, contract planner with JB Anderson Land Use Planning, will provide the report.
Good evening. Good looking out, thank you. Good evening, council. Good evening, mayor. Michael Arroyo, contract planner with the city of Riverbank, associate planner with JB Anderson Land Use Planning. So before you this evening for your consideration is an application for vesting tentative parcel map, application number 01-2024. And this application includes a request for an exception to the city's municipal code. So the applicants are seeking city council approval for their vesting tentative parcel map, which would allow the subdivision of their property into 4 resulting parcels. The request for an exception is an exception to the city's subdivision ordinance and the zoning ordinance to allow for the configuration of a flag lot. And I should change that channel, excuse me. So the subject property is located at 2842 Turpin Avenue. It's approximately 51,418 square feet in size, or 1.1 or 1.2 acres in size. The subject property has a general plan land use designation of lower density residential and sits within the single family residential zoning district. And sorry, just one note, I just put the flag there just because some people don't know what a flag lot is. So essentially it looks like a flag with a pole, which is usually the driveway, and then the flag portion. So here from this parcel map, the assessor parcel map, the subject property is outlined in red. You'll notice that it sits between Turpin Avenue and Deep River Drive. So this provides the applicants a unique opportunity. It provides them an opportunity to propose this configuration of a flag lot because it is a through lot. You'll notice at the bottom of the page, west of the subject property, there are existing flag lots. And the map for these flag lots was recorded in the early 90s. So there is precedent that has been set for flag lots within the city of Riverbank, but also in close proximity to our subject property. So here provides a snapshot of the project site outlined in red. The subject property and surrounding properties are all within the R1 zoning district and all share that same general plan land use designation of lower density residential. One thing to notice along Turpin Avenue, Dawn Avenue, and really just the whole vicinity is you'll notice the frontage improvements, so curb, gutter, sidewalk. And what you will notice for the subject property is along Deep River Drive, it lacks frontage improvement. So if approved, this project will be conditioned to install those frontage improvements, so curb, gutter, sidewalk, and in this case, driveway. So here's our first look at the vesting tentative parcel map as is proposed. It shows the existing structures, it shows the resulting 4 parcels, and again, to the west, it shows those existing flag lots. So here we will see a closer look and the exception request. So again, that pole portion is illustrated by those diagonal lines, the red lines. It shows the 4 resulting parcels. Parcel 1 is where the single family residence currently sits and will remain. Parcel 2 is the property that will be the proposed flag lot. And the exception request is related to the section of the municipal code at 152029, which states that the depth of lots shall not exceed the road frontage by more than 3 times. So, and it shows that the street frontage is only 29 feet as proposed. So if strict application of the city's municipal code was applied here, the lot depth would only be 87 feet, if I did the math right, and I did do it right. So 87 feet, which that in and of itself does not meet the city's subdivision ordinance or the zoning standards. So this table, it shows the proposed parcels. It shows the lot size requirements. It shows the minimum width and the lot depth. And as designed, all of the resulting parcels meet the minimum size requirements of 6,000 feet. And again, resulting parcel 2 is the property or parcel that does not meet the development standards for the R1 zoning district. So that is in part why we are here this evening. One thing to note too with this application for the parcel map and the exception request is there is no development proposed with this application. So it's just the parcel map and the exception request. So this project is consistent with the general plan in a number of ways. The general plan provides a density of between 0 and 8 dwelling units per net acre. The proposed parcel map will result in 4 parcels. Parcels 2, 3, and 4 could eventually be developed with single-family residential dwelling units. So that satisfies or meets the density requirements for that zone. And additionally, as is shown on the screen, the proposed project is consistent with the city's general plan conservation policy. And I'll read it for you. It says the city will encourage compact development to achieve more efficient use of resources in public facilities and public services. So if approved, again, the project could ultimately result in the additional dwelling units on those parcels, which is consistent with that conservation policy encouraging compact development. As it relates to the California Environmental Quality Act, the proposed project is categorically exempt. It meets the conditions prescribed in section 15332 for infill development projects. The proposed project and the public hearings were properly noticed in accordance with state law. One item to bring up is that The applicant's representative is not here this evening, but at the Planning Commission meeting, the applicant requested that condition 8 of the conditions of approval be amended. So condition 8 is listed as, was presented to the Planning Commission, and the modified condition is listed below. So a complete set of landscape plans conforming to the state's MWELO requirements is required prior to final map. So the request was just to add if necessary to that condition of approval number 8. So staff's recommendation to city council, planning commission's recommendation to city council is to adopt a resolution approving the exception request to allow a flag lot configuration, approve the modification to condition 8, and approve the vesting tentative parcel map number 01/2024 to subdivide one parcel into 4 resulting parcels based on the required findings. With that, that concludes the presentation. Both myself and Mr. Josh Mann are here to answer any questions council may have. Thank you.
Do we have any questions from the council before I open it up?
Well, I don't have a question, just wanted to point something out, if we can probably get it adjusted. Can you pull up the tentative parcel map? One more before that, right there.
Yes, sir.
You probably can't zoom in there. Sorry if I'm speaking so loud here. You probably can't zoom in, but that portion, that info property to the left there, it states proposed access easement for the benefit of parcel 1. But if you look at the map, parcel 1 is already has access to Turpin, right? So that statement, I believe, should actually say proposed access easement for the benefit of parcel 2, because that's who's actually using it, correct?
Oh, well, actually, it is spelled out correctly on the
Okay.
map, but I understand it is also to benefit parcel 2. But for the applicants, their intent is to remain on the, bless you, the proposed parcel 1. And so, because it is their property,
As a property owner.
correct?
Gotcha,
Yes,
gotcha.
sir. They want
That
to
makes sense.
have access still to move trailers. They have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
precisely.
And the only person that would actually use that easement to get to their property would be parcel 2. That's why I was like, well, we can probably just add that in there. It's not a deal breaker for sure, though.
No, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. Let
yeah.
me clarify real
Yeah.
quick. So the flag lot is so that they can have 4 parcels. The second parcel would be the flag lot where
Correct.
that would be their driveway. However, the property owners intend to remain on parcel 1, so they don't want to have to exit or access their store, the recreational vehicle along and exit and enter on Turpin Avenue, specifically to remove their RV. So they would like to maintain the right to have access to the rear of their property,
Gotcha.
proposed parcel 1. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Sorry about
Okay,
that.
See, that wasn't in the staff reports. Okay,
Oh,
now that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
I got you.
apologize.
Okay, now I get it. Yeah, the only other variation was the lot width. We've done these with plan developments, so no other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate.
I just have a quick one. If this is approved tonight and they divide the parcels up, do they get a different assessment with the fire department?
No, I'm not certain about that. Josh, would you?
Not that it matters to me.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. To answer your question, I believe so. Once they record a final map, they would be issued separate APN numbers, and then the assessments would come into effect based on each number.
Okay, thank you. All right. This is a public hearing. I open it up to the public. Do we have any public comment?
I have no one, Mayor, on Zoom.
Okay. Seeing no public comment, I bring this back for consideration.
So I'll make a motion to approve item 10.1.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Item 10.2, resolution to consider approval of general plan amendment 01-2024 to tentative subdivision map 01-2024 and 3 architectural and site plan review 06-2024 and the first reading by title only, introduction of ordinance approving the rezone 01-2024 5.9 acres of planned development located at 6448 Claus Road, APN 062039048 for the Heritage 2 subdivision.
Mayor and council, once again, Michael Arroyo with JB Anderson Land Use Planning.
Thank you, Maricela. Once more, good evening, council. As you introduce the item, council, you can tell that it is a multi-pronged project comprised of a number of components, which we will go over as the presentation unfolds. But this is for the Heritage 2 collection, Phase 2, located at 6448 Claus Road, further identified by its assessor parcel number on the screen. But before we get into the project, I just want to, because the project site and the property, the proposed project may seem familiar to council, it's because the applicant and the property owner previously received council approval for a commercial self-storage project. It included 623 units of self-storage and then a combination of boat and RV storage. For a number of reasons, or a reason, that project did not move forward. And that project, as you mentioned, that project, the previous one that received council approval, it was a general plan amendment similar to the one that is proposed this evening. It modified the existing designation, general plan designation at the time, from medium density residential that allowed residential uses to community commercial, which would allow the self-storage project. So the proposed project, as the title detailed, the proposed project, includes a general planned amendment that would essentially revert that general plan land use designation back to medium density residential from council's approval to community commercial. This project would revert it back to medium density residential. It includes a rezone to a new planned development zoning district, which would allow residential uses. The proposed project also includes a tentative subdivision map, which would allow the subdivision of the single 5.9 acre parcel into the 47 proposed lots. And then finally, it includes an architectural and site plan review, which would approve the proposed design of the residential units and the subdivision. So this project is located here. It's identified, it's outlined in red, Heritage 2. It's located north of the Riverbank High School, north of Patterson Road, located east of Claus Road, directly adjacent west of the existing Heritage 1. The next couple of slides will give us a better indication of what the surrounding uses are and the current or existing development, So here we can see the first phase, Heritage 1, and then Diamond Bar West, north of the project site. And we're reminded again that the general plan designation is community commercial. So this project is consistent with the city's general plan and more than the three ways that are spelled out on the screen here for you. But just for time's sake, I listed the most applicable general plan policies. So the first one is design policy number 2.7, the construction of safe sidewalks. The applicant will provide, similar to Heritage 1, they will provide and install sidewalks on interior streets as well as the cul-de-sac. Design policy 4.2, attractive residential subdivisions. So in an effort to provide an attractive subdivision, the applicant has provided or proposed two models, both having two different elevations, a traditional elevation and a Spanish elevation, with up to 6 color schemes to choose from to provide diversity among the dwelling units. And then lastly, policy design 5.2, the healthy and safe subdivision development. So the city encourages the use of porches, stoops, and other elements as a way to provide safe and secure neighborhoods. So the applicant has designed, and we'll get a look at them and later in the presentation, but they have designed front elevations to include those elements, porches, covered entries, as a way to provide, as the general plan phrases it, a sense of eyes on the street to help community and engagement and a security within the neighborhood. So as proposed, the project, it would be rezoned to a new planned development zoning district. So a planned development is essentially a mechanism that provides flexibility to developers with respect to the existing development standards. So the table here shows the existing development standards, and then on your far right, the proposed planned development standards. The proposed development standards to be modified are in bold and marked with an asterisk, but to save you from straining, I will tell you what's proposed to be modified, excuse me. So lot size, lot width, maximum density, front and rear yard setbacks, and the side setback for corner lots are proposed. And finally, the local street width is proposed to be reduced from 64 feet to 50 feet. Excuse me. Because this is important too, because the modifications to residential development standards are proposed, city staff has requested the applicant to offer some enhancements to the proposed subdivision. In response, the applicant has proposed upgraded garage doors, upgraded decorative garage lighting, and enhanced landscaping. In addition, because of where the proposed project is located at Claus and Patterson, city staff has requested that a CMU wall or concrete masonry unit wall with landscaping be constructed on the western boundary, so on Claus, along Claus Road, in place of what was originally proposed, a wood fence without any landscaping. The applicant has agreed to that proposed request, and it is reflected on the tentative subdivision map. So here we see that proposed tentative subdivision map, Heritage existing, Heritage 1, and proposed Heritage 2. As proposed, 47 single-family residential lots, ranging in size from almost 3,200 square feet up to 6,153 square feet in size. And again, because of the proximity to the signalized intersection at Claus and Patterson, a right in, right out only will be allowed at the Teak Street and Claus Road intersection. So that's the horizontal road that would intersect or tee into Claus Road. Additionally, pedestrian access from the cul-de-sac onto the new Sierra Way would be constructed. And then finally, the Heritage 2 map was designed to mimic or mirror the existing Heritage 1 subdivision, as you can tell from this exhibit. So the proposed architecture, those two models, this is the Plan 1583. It offers 1583 square feet, offers 3-bed, 2.5 bath with a loft and a 2-car garage. On the left, you have your Spanish elevation, and on the right, you have your traditional elevation. And here's the larger of the two offerings. Plan 1874 offers 1,855 square feet, 4 bedrooms and 3 baths. Also a loft is included and 2-car garage. There are 3 offerings for each. I should have mentioned that, excuse me. So 3 color schemes for Spanish and then 3 color schemes for traditional. And those are shown. This is Spanish, of course, and traditional. Here, take a look at that real quick. All right, so as it relates to the California Environmental Quality Act, the proposed project is exempt from further environmental analysis pursuant to CEQA guidelines section 15061, subsection B, subsection 3, for the common sense exemption. Similar to the last project, this project and hearing were properly noticed in accordance with state law. It was published in the Riverbank News on September 25th, And the notices were mailed to interested parties within a 300-foot radius from the project site on September 20th. So the Planning Commission on September 17th adopted 3 resolutions recommending to City Council the approval of the general plan amendment, the rezone of 01-2024, the tentative subdivision map, and the architecture review. So Planning Commission's recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving the general plan amendment, adopt an ordinance and the first reading by title only, and an introduction of an ordinance approving a rezone 01-2024, and adopt a resolution approving the tentative subdivision map, TSM 01-2024, and then finally adopt resolution approving architecture and site plan review 06-2024. And with that, similarly, myself and Mr. Josh Mann are available for any questions you may have. So, thank you.
I'm gonna start it off. Street parking is gonna be allowed on both sides with a 50-foot width street.
Yeah, that is proposed. Yes, sir.
That's a little tight. Okay, 16 DUs per acre, that's, I know we're doing that. That's still very tight. I don't know too many families that use a 2-car garage for 2 cars. And I'm only concerned about street parking. There's gonna be a lot more of street parking. You see it already, even in the wider streets. And then the architectural design for the porches do not make conducive for outside sitting and watching your neighborhoods. I have one of those porches. You don't go out there and sit, because it's very narrow. So that is something I would not have put in your staff report. But other than that, I like the project. I do like that it's now high density housing compared to high density storage. And I appreciate the efforts for the developer.
Just one thing with respect to the street parking and the more narrow local street is that is also consistent with the general plan conservation that, the city does encourage compact development. And so, yeah, you have to give to get a little. So that's the only issue.
I understand that.
Yes, sir.
I just,
So,
I
yes, sir.
drive down some of those narrow streets.
Can you talk through the pedestrian and bicycling connectivity that's there?
So it's proposed in the cul-de-sac. So this, as was originally proposed and revised, so the 3 lots abutting or backing to Claus Road, the sort of odd shaped lot will be dedicated. Originally, that was proposed to be another single family residential lot. So that will be dedicated to the city, but also as proposed, they will have a pedestrian access. The final design and rendering has not been submitted to the city, but ultimately will be approved by the community development director.
I have a question. Would there be a park?
No park is proposed.
Because it's too close to the other one, the other park there?
I am uncertain about the park and if that has any relation to Heritage One, but I'm not certain if Josh has had any conversations with the applicant for that. So there's no park proposed with this project.
So Councilmember Barbara Martinez, there is no park, but they are required to pay park in lieu fees because there is no park, which allows additional funding to enhance parks that are nearby.
Okay. This is a public hearing. I open it to the public. Do we have any public comment?
Mayor, there is no one on Zoom wishing to speak.
Close the public hearing, bring it back for consideration.
I'll make a motion to approve item 10.2.
And I'll second.
A motion to approve and a second on 10-2. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez,
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien.
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
thank you. Mr. Anderson, your people did great today. Item 11-1, new business, resolution authorizing an amendment to the American Rescue Plan Act spending plan.
Mayor and council, good evening. Tonight, we are revisiting our American Rescue Plan Act spending plan. As we are nearing the encumbrance deadline, what the encumbrance deadline states is that the city must have the funds encumbered or contracted for, or through the issuance of a purchase order, have that reserved for projects. We do have until December 31st of this year to fully encumber that, and then 2 years through December 31st of 2026 to actually expend the funds and have the cash go out for those projects. So just a little bit of history. Our original spending plan was approved in September of 2022, and it covers a variety of projects, including infrastructure, parks and public spaces, property purchases, COVID-19 mitigation, grant programs, and a few other items that we felt were of strategic importance to the city council and to the city. For those who are not familiar with the American Rescue Plan Act, it was a federal allocation that was designed to be able to assist cities in sort of coming back or being able to have the economy bounce back after COVID-19. So the city received a total of $5,952,064 as part of this plan. So the original budget, when we first discussed what projects we wanted to work on, we had allocated approximately 5.1, leaving 775,000 allocated. Now that we're reaching the end of that encumbrance period, we are requesting allocation of 100% all of the funds received. So parks and public spaces, the changes that I'm proposing are in that hot pink color. So basically what we are taking is funding that we're not going to be able to use specifically now and encumber by the end of the fiscal year, and reallocating that to projects where we feel we will be able to do that within the next 3 months. So Jackson and Stanislaus is a priority to the city. And we did allocate, or we did make recommendations that fully become a park site. But within the next 3 months, we will not be able to achieve receiving community input and designing a park. So what we have decided to do is we've decided to reallocate all of those funds towards a general category called park improvements. Michael Patton, our Director of Parks and Recreation, has a number of projects on his list that we feel are of a priority to be able to achieve. Some of these projects are within the older parts of town where we do not have community facilities district funding that we receive, or landscape and lighting district funding that we receive, that could go towards making improvements to our parks. Some of the projects include Pioneer Park, which is next door to Scout Hall, which has been some time since we've been able to fully refurbish all of that. We piecemeal a lot of the park replacements that we do with a small allocation that council sets of $10,000. So sometimes it's a swing here, maybe a slide there whenever there's things that are damaged or need to be replaced. This will allow us to do some comprehensive major updates to some of the older parks that we have in town. In addition, you'll see we're doing a minor adjustment to the Zorrillo Park pickleball. We had some savings there. We had originally established a $10,000 budget, and the entire project actually came at $8,300. So all of those savings are going towards these park improvements. I'll just go back really quickly to some of the other projects that I didn't touch on. We're not recommending any change to the budget, but you'll be able to see what we've spent to date on some of those projects. So we were able to begin some of the work on the Jacob Myers parking lot. Unfortunately, the engineer's estimate is at over $600,000, which we currently don't have sufficient funding to be able to do that. The Jacob Myers Park Trail expansion is currently still undergoing the NEPA and CEQA analysis that's required by the federal government or by the Army Corps of Engineers, as well as San Joaquin County. So that is an ongoing project that we have. So we're not looking to reallocate any of the funds there. And then, of course, we were able to complete the Plaza del Rio audio project. The second category was our infrastructure. So some of the major changes we have there is a slight increase to our energy efficiency project. We had to pay for the plan check and the specialized construction inspection services that were required as part of the installation of the solar projects. So just a minor increase of $8,500. We had some great savings as part of a couple of the projects. For example, the fencing at Riverbank Police Services came $18,000 under budget. The 7th Street storm drain came at $14,000 under budget. And we did install the infrastructure for 2 EV charging stations at our community center. That also came under budget. So we are reallocating once again all of those funds towards other projects like the park improvements. Property purchases. So we were able to purchase the Sierra House, the Jackson and Stanislaus property, and the property for the downtown parking lot. So the purchase also includes for some of these the improvements that we made. And so the only minor update we're doing is to the Sierra House, $2,900 that we're asking. It was part of some of the weed abatement remediation that we had to do during the time when construction was happening. COVID-19 mitigation, these were some of the costs that we allocated for staff time during that time when COVID was still prevalent. We were doing a lot of disinfection of some of our parks and our city hall. We also made some improvements to City Hall. For example, all of the improvements to City Hall South with the barriers that were put up at the counters. And so that paid for those costs. And then we did approve through the memorandums of agreement with our labor unions, issuing premium pay to those employees who did work during the pandemic. Here's some of our grant programs. We're not recommending any changes to the amounts allocated there, but I did want to highlight that our spending to date, so our downtown facade improvement program, we've allocated $90,000 to date. I have 3 applications that I'm waiting for, and then I have funding for another 2, so we'll be doing a final email blast to our downtown businesses to be able to get 2 more and fully allocate those funds. And then, of course, our nonprofit support program, where we were able to allocate $120,000 to our local nonprofits. And then the final update that we are recommending is a project that we have made a priority. It's also within our strategic plan to enhance our communication with our public and with our city staff as well internally. And so we are looking to contract for social media, sort of PIO marketing and branding. And so we are looking to allocate $60,000 towards that project. And so with that, we are recommending that council consider authorizing the reallocation of the funds to the priority projects that were listed. And I'm available for any questions you may have.
Have a question, but just a recommendation. that we take a look at all of, I think I mentioned this to Michael too, that we take a look at all of our parks and make sure that our swings are accessible for everyone and make sure that we have ramps too, so everybody can have fun and play. Thank you.
No, I think it's a really good recommendation. Staff's done a really good job kind of adapting over time with the expenses, the money saved and kind of readjusting there. I think staff's right. I think we do need to continue with the master plan with the District 3 park, getting that community input via survey and other means. That'll give Michael plenty of time to kind of access some of those grants and get that park where we want it with that community input. I think the funding that we have, I know Pioneer Park needs about 175,000 if I'm correct. So this money will definitely go to improving that park that's been not neglected fully, but we have been piecing it together here and there. And then because I know some of the maturity dates, I believe is what the term was, the park is kind of falling apart. So we definitely need to prioritize those funds since the encumbrance date is just around the corner. No, that's all I got. I think staff did a really good job. Thank you.
I am excited about the priority for the parks. I don't know if you probably already have this, but I'd love to see a list of the priorities for the different parks and repairs, and ask that we take again, your priority doing this, but an equitable approach to it as we're looking at different parts of the city and the income of the city. And would love and looking forward to supporting the social media communications aspect.
Just want to make sure that we have it allocated prior to the end of the year and that we can spend it. Can we adjust it after the first of the year?
So we won't be able to adjust it necessarily. We have to make sure it's encumbered as of December 31st.
Okay.
But I did build into the resolution, if you had an opportunity to look at that, to allow me and give me the authority to make adjustments to make sure that we meet the encumbrance deadline. The last thing I want to do is have to send monies back to the federal government.
Absolutely.
We love free money, so I don't want to give it back.
All right, any public comment? Seeing none, I bring it back for consideration, please.
I'll make a motion to approve item 11.1.
A second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez,
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Item 11.2, consideration for the 2024 Cal Cities Annual Conference Resolution.
So Mayor and Council, coming up next week, the majority of the city council will be attending the Cal Cities Annual Conference, which is going to be held in Long Beach this year. They do hold what's called a General Assembly, where they visit resolutions that they feel are of importance to all cities. So as I mentioned, the conference is coming up next week in Long Beach. It's an opportunity for city council to attend presentations on key topics for local leaders. You get to network with other agencies and engage with organizations that provide services to our cities. So the resolutions process is policy proposals on issues of importance to cities are submitted to the League of California Cities. They must have concurrence from 5 additional member cities. It's due 60 days before the conference. They are reviewed by the policy committees that are established and then forwarded on to the resolutions committee. They are then presented at the General Assembly for a vote. So the General Assembly is held on the last day of the conference. The city has designated a voting delegate to vote on those resolutions on the city council's behalf. So the primary is Councilmember Barbara Martinez. If she is unable to attend, then the alternate is Councilmember Hernandez. The voting delegates get to debate and consider the resolutions based on the feedback that we are requesting that you provide to them today as fellow council members. So what's the resolution that is currently being presented is the fair and equal treatment of all government officials at all levels. So what does that mean? Is that the city of Glendora submitted this resolution basically stating that what applies to one should apply to all in the fair and equal treatment of all government officials at all levels of the state of California. The California legislature is tasked with developing and implementing policies and procedures that affect local government. Unfortunately, sometimes these new policies apply only to local officials, not to state officials. These are just a couple of examples that were highlighted within the resolution that was submitted. The Brown Act applies to city councils and other appointed boards and commission and requires that certain business be conducted openly and in public. The same rule does not apply to state agencies. CEQA, which requires all government agencies to consider the environmental consequences of their actions before approving plans and policies. The state has exempted itself from this via the adoption of SB 174. And just more recently, they demolished and then rebuilt the state offices for the governor without going through CEQA analysis. SB 1439 amended the Political Reform Act, which removed the exception for local elected officials from contribution limits, requiring disqualification of those officials from making development project decisions. That rule does not currently apply to state elected officials. And then the last one that's shown here is AB 571, which prohibits city and county candidates for local office from making contributions over the limit, which is 4,700, to other local or county candidates, requiring that they establish separate committees for each office they run, and it prohibits them from redistributing the funds from a committee. This does not also apply to state elected officials. And so resolution number 1, as presented, basically states that the California State Legislature shall not enact and the governor shall not sign into law any law or regulation that applies solely to elected officials of California cities and counties unless such law or regulation also applies equally to members of the California State Assembly and Senate. This prohibition shall not apply to laws or regulations affecting the inherent powers of the legislative branch under the California Constitution. And so I will leave that up as that is the resolution that is before you. As mentioned earlier, the recommendation is that you provide Councilmember Barbara Martinez as your primary and Councilmember Hernandez as your alternate with direction on how to vote during the General Assembly of the annual conference.
SB 174 has with it a transportation mitigation portion that limits us locally in developing new transportation lanes, I would say. And I don't see how the state and the DOT is or Caltrans is going to move away from that with whatever we do with 174. Because it only benefits the state. And I don't think a resolution going to the state is going to have any effect. But, you know, we could tell the state this is what we want, but my experience is that the state will still do whatever they want. 174 was for the Golden Center, or the basketball center, and it was at the irk of all the cities, and we demanded 174 to be repealed or applied to us, and it was just a snub. But the transportation portion applied to us. So sure, vote for it, yes, let's get the state to play, but I'm a little suspect.
So I do want to clarify the general premise of the resolution is not to go back to some
I
of those.
understand that.
Yes, to some of those that enacted bills. It's moving forward whenever a bill is being enacted, that if it applies to local elected officials, it should also apply to state elected officials.
Yeah, no, I think I'm in agreement with the mayor. And there's many more examples of what's been presented of this, for examples there. I don't think the state agencies should have special privileges, right? They represent way more constituents, so it should be a level playing field, right? They should be following the same rules that we have to, with the Brown Act and all the other things. So I would like to support the proposed resolution.
I think that I also support it because, like you were saying, it should be the same for everybody. It's all about being transparent. It's all about, doing what you can for the constituents that you have. So, I'm in support of it.
Okay. That's the direction, I believe. I have a question on it, though, unfunded mandates, that they apply to certain regions, such as, for us, water. Would that apply up and down the state? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think that could be applied that way.
I don't think it can either. I think it's totally separate. I don't think it's the same.
Okay.
But, it's all about local control, and that's what I do when I go to the
I
policy
understand.
committees, and I talk about local control, because we need to have our say-so here. Nobody knows what we go through or what we have to do in our cities and how it affects us. All cities are different, and I think that you and your city as a council know exactly what's best for the city, or at least you try to know what's best. Thanks.
I agree. It's within the guidelines of the law. Does not necessarily mean that the specific has to apply evenly across the board. And the federal and state and even county forget the fact that the people who pay the taxes are right out there. They're not up there in Washington DC or the State Department. The Capitol. That's funding already was pushed forward for the betterment of the nation, the state, and now for local control. Now, if you can wrangle local control away from the state, I would appreciate it. All right. That's it for the consideration? Okay, moving on to item 11.3, nomination and appointment of a vice mayor to serve for the remainder of 2024 calendar year. And with that, I'd like to nominate Councilmember Uribe for the vice mayor. Sir, would you take the position?
I absolutely accept. I'm humbled by that decision, and I do understand it's only a 2.5 month nomination, right?
Who knows?
Who knows? And come January, we'll get the opportunity to nominate again. So with that understanding, I accept.
Thank you. Okay, with that, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe.
Thank you. Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez.
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien.
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
thank you, Vice Mayor. All right, going to comments, staff comments, please.
I've got a number of comments for you tonight, a lot of events coming up, so I want to make sure that members of the public put these on their calendars. So of course, join us this Saturday, October 12th for the annual Cheese and Wine Festival. The festival will run from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. here in downtown Riverbank. We have over 160 vendors, a car show, 2 stages with live entertainment throughout the day, including the dancing courses at 12 p.m. and all-day activities at the Kids Corner. The festival is free to the public. Tickets to the 3 wine tasting sessions at the community center are currently available at City Hall or on Eventbrite. The Sierra House Open House and Dedication Ceremony will be held on Monday, October 14th. The open house will run from 4 to 5:15 with the dedication ceremony starting at 5:30. The Sierra House is located at the corner of 4th Street and Sierra. The draft housing element will be made available to the public with this Thursday's publishing of the October 15th Planning Commission agenda and kicks off a 30-day review process. The draft housing element will then be brought forward to City Council at the November 12th meeting. The Haunted Hayride is happening on October 25th and 26th at Jacob Myers Park. Our Dia de los Muertos event is scheduled for November 1st from 5 to 9 p.m. here in downtown. And then our Christmas parade this year, so please put it on your calendars, is scheduled for Saturday, December 14th. And then our city clerk, Gabriela Hernandez, will provide some information regarding the District 3 council vacancy. Thank you.
The District 3 City Council seat is currently vacant. We are conducting a recruitment and taking applications. Any persons interested are encouraged to apply. The minimum requirements are that you are 18 years of age or older and that you are a registered voter residing within the boundaries of District 3. Applications are available on our city website and at the City Hall City Clerk's office. Applications will be accepted until Tuesday, November 12th at noon. Interviews will be conducted in a special meeting soon after. For more information, please contact the City Clerk's office.
And that is all from staff.
Thank you. Councilmember Hernandez.
I don't have anything to add, but other than the annual run for the cheese run is the morning of the wine and cheese or cheese and wine festival. I'm gonna be running the 10K and I ran my first mile like a month ago, so wish me luck. I'll see you all at the wine tasting though.
Okay. Councilmember Barbara Martinez.
So we had our presentation about the walk and roll school to school for in the morning. So I'm asking everyone to join me at 7:15 at Castleberg Park, and we'll have fun walking with the kudos to school. If you have not heard about the Great Shake Out Day, it will be October 17th at 10:17 a.m. You can join millions of people across the world practicing earthquake safety, and they will be you can do it at work, at school, or at home. And you're gonna, just practice what to do in case we have an earthquake, because you just never know. So I want to ask the question, do you know what to do if we do have an earthquake? But you can go to the website, www.shakeout.org, and find out more about the drills that you can practice on and know and be prepared in case we have an earthquake. Thank you to Cody and his department for putting the recycled water project on our website. I appreciate that, because I think that we need to explain and have access to our big, huge projects for the public. Couple of save the dates. There will be a spaghetti dinner fundraiser in support for veterans and first responders. This will be at the Veterans Service Center, 3500 Coffee Road, Thursday, October 17th from 4:30 to 7:30. Tickets are $15 per person, and you can call the Veterans First, and there is a phone number, 209-556-4738. And then Royal Neighbors of America, they will be having their 16th annual Veterans Luncheon. That will be on November the 9th, which is a Saturday. It is free to all veterans, and you can also bring one guest. And it's at the Veterans Foundation, 3500 Coffee Road, Suite 15 in Modesto. Doors open at 11, and reservations are open now. They've been open since September 15th, but they do close on October the 15th. So you have a little bit of time to get your call in and get your reservations. Phone number is 209-869-3635. And let's support our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. I too want to commend Cody for the wastewater treatment plant website. I would like to see it expanded, have a water segment throughout, because we have our Sigma, we have our management for groundwater. We also have, the states, the Delta needs to be in there, because we're paying, what, 25,000 a year for Delta sampling? Yeah, for stormwater, that for, it, even though we collect it, we sampled the Delta for us. So we have a whole list of things that the state is regulating with the water, because they're really controlling water throughout the state, and it's gonna happen here soon. So we need to be prepared for what they're doing. But it was a great segment that I saw, and I know it's a work in progress, because we'll make it in progress. Okay, with that, I think we're gonna
Mayor,
go.
Mayor, real quick, was I demoted already? I think you forgot my comment.
Yes, you're demoted.
Okay, just making
I
sure.
am so sorry,
No, you're
Vice
fine, you're
Mayor.
fine. I knew it was a short appointment, but I didn't realize it was that short, so. Just real quick, so I got the opportunity to meet with F&M Bank, Jared Steinwert from the Regional Senior VP, Corinne Santos, the Senior VP. They're just kind of reaching out, looking for additional ways to kind of support Riverbank and kind of give back. And so I kind of suggested, thank you, Michael, for the suggestions. Taught time, the Sharks and Mermaid programs, two really popular programs. One's running at a loss, and so I'm hoping fingers crossed, that they're going to be reaching out to you and kind of sponsoring those. And then I do have a follow-up meeting with them. We're going to be meeting with the SBDC, Herman. They want to do a cool little project in town. So when we're back from Long Beach, I have that set up and looking forward to see where that meeting goes. Cheese and wine, like Maricela stated. Michael, please let Parks and Rec staff know that we are very proud of the work they're doing, and they should be proud of everything everything they've done. They're probably stressed out, but it's going to be a good event. I'm excited to be there. I'll be out there supporting the sister city. I'm going to be out there supporting Randy and Riverbank. And then, of course, the chamber, I'll be helping them out. So looking forward to it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I make one more comment? When you're doing a small business, can we look at some type of a consolidation or collaboration on that? Because Luis has a great contact and great program. You have a great contact and great program. If we merge it, we'll have a greater program. Okay. You guys saw eye to eye on that. All right. Okay, we'll go into closed session. Consistent item 13.1, liability claim pursuant to Government Code Section 54961. Claimant Janet Vaughn, agency claimed against City of Riverbank. Item 13.2, conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. Agency representative, city manager, Maricela Garcia, employee organization, Riverbank Mid-Management, Employee Association, and Riverbank Miscellaneous Employee. At this time, the public has 3 minutes to comment on the closed session. Is there anyone wishing to comment on the closed session? Saying none, we are adjourned to closed session. Good night. City Council Local Redevelopment Authority Board reconvenes from closed session, report from closed session, item 14.1, report from closed session, item 13.1, liability claim. By a vote of 4-0, the claim has been denied. Item 14.2, report from closed session, item 13.2, conference with labor negotiators. Direction has been provided to staff. Our next regular city council meeting will be held on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. This meeting is now adjourned.